Massachusetts general law allows cities and towns to deficit spend to address emergency needs in the wake of major disasters, including but not limited to flood, drought, fire, hurricane, earthquake, storm, or other catastrophe that poses an immediate threat to the health or safety of a community. Emergency deficit spending can be funded either by appropriation, the following year's tax revenues, or through emergency borrowing. In order for emergency spending to begin, an emergency declaration must be approved by the governor or a majority of a select board in a town or two-thirds of a city or town council. In addition, the Division of Local Services Director of Accounts must provide approval. Eligible expenses include employee overtime, debris removal, contractual assistance, and emergency repairs for public buildings and infrastructure. Emergency expenditures may be funded through borrowing on a short-term basis or for a longer term. When borrowing on an emergency basis, cities and towns typically can issue debt to fund the emergency expenditures with a maximum maturity of 2 years. The debt may be authorized by the treasurer with the approval of the municipality's chief executive officer, typically the select board in a town or mayor in a city. The Division of Local Services Director of Accounts must approve of any emergency debt issuance. A city or town seeking to borrow on an emergency basis for a term longer than 2 years must do so with the approval of the director. The director may approve for borrowing terms up to 10 years. Municipalities may not borrow for the funding of collective bargaining agreements or items previously disapproved by the legislative body for the fiscal year in which the borrowing is sought. Municipalities may also borrow for longer periods to fund emergency capital expenditures authorized by treasurer with approval of the chief executive officer of the city or town. In this case, borrowing to fund these expenditures must also be approved by the Municipal Finance Oversight Board, or MFOB, the term of which may not exceed the term for the borrowing purpose. In order to receive approval, the city or town must demonstrate that the regular debt authorization process poses undue hardship in meeting emergency needs.